Hello and welcome to yet another FFPC 350 draft live stream of I am Adam Levitan. As always, I'm joined by Evan Silva for these live streams. This is our second live stream we're doing. Today is July 26th. I believe the first one we did was a couple weeks ago. We picked out of the 4-hole. Tonight, Evan, we'll be picking out of the 9-hole. Draft starts in about 5 minutes here, as you can see in the other window. Evan, let's talk first a little bit about drafting 4th versus 9th. I think there's a big difference. We talked about optimal draft positions before. I think 1.1 is good. I think 1.5 and 1.6 are kind of a disaster. You know, 1.12, 1.11 are pretty good. I think 1.09 is okay, I would say. What do you think about 1.09 versus 1.04?
I think that I so far have liked either 1.01 where you get McCaffrey or just as far back as you can possibly get. 104 isn't terrible. 103 isn't terrible. 102 isn't terrible. But yeah, then you start to get in the middle, and I've gotten too much Joe Mixon. I don't want to get any more Joe Mixon. I'm ready to move on and start taking different players. 1.09 though, he's going to be in our range for sure. I would like to get Derrick Henry. I think there is a scenario where we could definitely consider George Kittle, who I think is going to have an absolutely monster year. And Garoppolo is going – he's so easy to stack with Garoppolo because Garoppolo is going – I mean, I just got in a FFPC main event, I just got Garoppolo in the 18th round.
Yeah.
So he's so easy. We're definitely going to try to come out of this with 2 strong quarterback pass catcher stacks. We're going to make that a priority in this draft.
Yeah. And obviously, this is FFPC format, which is tight end premium. This is also a format in which a huge percentage of the prize pool goes to first place in this large field tournament. So the strategy is going to differ a little bit from your home league, but we'll talk about players along the way, and I think it'll still be really relevant for you guys that aren't playing this FFPC format, that are playing more standard 12-team leagues. I would go back and read Mike Leone's article about stacking in season long, because there's a lot of merit, even in 12-team leagues, just trying to find some stacks. Not as big a priority as it is in a format like this. This is also single QB format, and that's why, Evan, Jimmy Garoppolo goes in 18th round, single QB, where there are waivers. We will play this league out all year. There's not a high premium on quarterbacks, so Jimmy Garoppolo in the 18th, it doesn't surprise me at all that that's where you got him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. Critical. So we were having a discussion about the way, because you have to understand that, our this league had not filled. I think it only had 2 people in it.
Yeah.
So Adam had to tweet it out, and we got it filled, immediately. But that changes that should, I think, affect our strategy, because now we know that it's highly likely that this league is going to be just dotted with ETR subscribers, right, drafting off the same rankings and tiers that we are. So we are essentially going to be drafting against our own rankings. And so we were talking about what, and we each kind of came up with ideas. What is our audience here? You said that you believe that it is 99% people that are just trying to, get little tips and stuff for their home league.
Yeah.
I tended to believe that it was people that are interested in playing the Football Guys Championship and doing a little bit higher stakes this year, and maybe even playing main event. But I don't know what do we need to do here? What adjustments do we need to make?
Yeah, it's a good point that everybody in this league, or most people in this league, it sounds like they're going to be, at least know us. They might not be subscribers, but they at least listen to the podcast and they follow us. I'm sure that Will Fuller is going to go 2 rounds earlier than his ADP. I'm sure guys like Ben Roethlisberger and James Conner are not going to last as long as they would in another format. And I think it's just, understanding your enemies is a huge part of drafting, in really any fantasy game. Like, knowing what your opponent is going to do a lot of times is just as important, if not more important, especially in DFS if you're playing tournaments, just as important or more important than what you are going to do. So yeah, I think we just need to be aware that, like, if we want guys that we've talked up a lot, we're going to have to reach for them well above their ADP. It just is what it is. I'm not sure it changes our strategy too much, but guys that we've talked about, I think, are going to go higher in this format. That's okay though. I like playing against our people. It'll be fun. We'll kind of play against them all year.
Yeah. We're not going to get any value, and we're not going to win the Football Guys Championship, but because there's all these drafts. You have to get you have to build a monster team, and drafting against other ETR subscribers, or just people that listen to the podcast at least, like, they're going to be much more in tune than people that are just picking it up right away and just jumping in. So we're about to start here, I guess.
Yep. Yeah, 15 seconds until oil changes will be on the clock first.
Okay. And we are drafting off of the FFPC rankings.
Yeah.
Adam, talk about that.
Yeah. So obviously on the site, we have rankings for every single possible format, including FFPC, tight end premium. And keep in mind, you only have to start 2 wide receivers. There are 2 flex spots. So these skew tight end heavy. They also skew running back heavy. And you'll see that in the ADP way more than NFFC, way more than your home league. Like this is going to skew really running back heavy. And our rankings kind of reflect that. Our rankings reflected tight end premium. What I did was I inputted our top 150 from the FFPC, and then I kind of ran out of time, to be honest. So then from 150 to 300 is going to be the default rankings. But Evan and I, after that top 150 come off the board, we'll be drafting on basically just guys that we like, guys we're trying to stack, defenses, kickers, stuff like that. All right. So let's go to the draft board here because we are off and running. Establish the fun is on the clock. That's not us. We're not about fun. We are establish the run. We're about the run. So CMC, Zeke, Barkley, Kamara to start as expected.
Yeah, this is literally right off the rankings.
Yeah, we took Kamara in our last draft. We got Kamara at 4 spot.
Oh, by the way, I'm working on this defense special teams tiers piece. It's freaking awesome. It's going to be awesome. Really went hard into like schedule. And there are some defenses that we'll be able to get really, really late, like the Colts, like their first 6 games. Awesome. They added DeForest Buckner. They're a team that's bringing back a lot of continuity. That'll come into play, obviously, later in the draft. But that'll be up on the site soon.
All right, so Derrick Henry goes 6. I've seen this as a trend kind of in drafts lately. Derrick Henry keeps going higher and higher. Like you might need a top 6 pick now to get Derrick Henry going forward. I've lost as much money on Derrick Henry as anybody, but I'm actually not against taking Derrick Henry 6th overall. I know before the show, Evan, we were thinking about getting Derrick Henry even higher in our rankings. I know you bumped him above Joe Mixon recently. There goes Dalvin Cook. All right, we're 2 picks away here. Yeah, so we might have our choice of Kelsey, Kittle, Devontae Adams.
And then Miles Sanders went, so we are on the clock, I believe.
Yep, we're on the clock here, and our top in our rankings are Kelsey, Devontae Adams, Kittle. I mean, if we go Kelsey, we could try to get a Kelsey Tyreek stack, but we're not going to get Mahomes, I don't think.
Kelsey.
I think Kelsey is the best play, and just the hopes of it ripping off some kind of Chief stack is so.
Yeah. If you could start like with Mahomes, Kelsey, and Tyreek in the first 3 rounds, like wouldn't you just want to build your DFS lineup with that every single week?
Yes, you couldn't afford it, but yes.
Right, exactly.
All right, we're taking Kelsey.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Very good with that. I think he's got positive touchdown regression coming too. Only scored 5 TDs last year. I mean, he could score 12, no problem. Travis freaking Kelsey.
Yeah, and how would you compare Kelsey to Kittle this year? I think it's pretty close.
Every day I look at the ranks and I'm like, man, I kind of want to put Kittle ahead of him.
Yeah. I mean, one thing is about the way they win, right? Like, and I know you think the 49ers are going to throw a lot more, and I agree with you, but in situations where the 49ers like impose their will, like it's not through Kittle. Like it's typically through the run game and defense, and when the Chiefs whack teams, it's always through Mahomes.
I also would not mind starting with Kelsey Kittle.
All right. After we went, Joe Mixon went, then Devontae Adams.
What do you think about Kelsey Kittle? And then we try to get Mahomes at 3-9, and then we get Garoppolo later.
So my biggest issue with that is that I actually like a lot of late round tight ends. And if you spend your first 2 picks at tight ends, you just can't. I mean, you can't take like any more tight ends. You're not taking. I like Hawkinson. I like Fant. Right. I like Ian Thomas. I like a lot of those guys that are late there.
There goes Kittle. So we don't have to make that decision.
Okay, there goes Kittle. We might have a shot at Tyreek.
Yeah,
there goes
Kenyon Drake goes.
Yeah. The thing is, I don't think Mahomes gets back to us is the problem. So like if we start Kelsey, Tyreek, and we don't get Mahomes, it's kind of not the best.
I would love Julio or Tyreek here.
Yeah, Matt Ryan just annually underrated. It's such a fantasy machine.
There goes Tyreek.
Tyreek.
Damn it. Come on, Julio. Come on. Julio's like the only pick here. I mean, unless somebody wants to force a running back. Our running back situation, it could get ugly, though.
I know. There goes Nick Chubb. Speaking of forcing running back.
I mean, I think we got to take Julio.
Yeah, I mean, we don't even these running backs. I think we've gotten lower on as time's gone on. Edwards-Helaire, Eckler, Aaron Jones, Josh Jacobs. Yeah, I'm fine trying to go for a Julio Ryan stack.
Yeah, and that's very much in play. So let's take him.
All right. So I think one thing to say about this start here, where we start tight end, wide receiver, this is not like the chalk. And I think if this was not tight end premium, I probably would have gone Mixon here over Kelsey for sure. And try to, if I was like playing a home league, I would have gone, RB here and then maybe Julio here. But yeah, to not come out in the first 2 rounds with one running back is going to be super contrarian. And you're going to see it's going to get, especially in this format, it's going to get real thin at running back real quick.
Julio is becoming one of my highest owned players. He goes in the second round every single time, and whenever I'm on this back on this back turn, he seems to fall to me. Yeah. And I love taking him because again, that this team led the NFL in pass attempts last year. They have a ton of continuity at the top of their passing game. I think it's going to be so concentrated, with Ridley and Julio. I mean, Julio could lead the NFL in targets this year. Very, very much in play.
Yeah, and if you want to, in this format, contrarianism is going to have a lot of value. And so these teams, like, we're going to be pounding running backs in and maybe we can pull up Kareem's articles, which have been amazing about when you start like this, running backs that you look at in rounds, 3 through 6, 6 through 10, 10 to 15, 15 plus. We're going to be taking a lot of these guys and hoping that basically shit just hits the fan at the running back position. That's the whole idea. And it very well could. Injuries, guys taking jobs, corona related stuff. There's a lot of ways for guys going 8, 9, 10 in the running back spot to have value this year. And so I'll probably bring up Kareem's article and at some point we can talk about that. Cool. But yeah, there's value in being contrarian in this format. And so I think, these starts with Ryan, Julio, and Ridley with late round running backs is definitely gonna be contrarian if we can do it.
We also emerged from the first 2 rounds with players that play in extremely productive offenses, and we didn't get caught with Joe Mixon. We didn't take some other question. DeAndre Hopkins. I think that the Arizona offense, I like it, but it's not like the Falcons and the freaking Chiefs. Yeah. So I like coming out of the first 2 rounds with guys that are in really, really high floor and ceiling offenses.
Yeah, and so in this format, you're going to see stuff like this. People reaching for Todd Gurley, people reaching for Josh Jacobs. You could call Eckler a reach here. Look how running back heavy it is. I mean, God, how many running backs have we seen go already? And it's not even the end of the second round yet. So in this specific format where, again, you only have to start 2 wide receivers because there's double flex, people are very running back heavy.
Yeah, this run is crazy on running backs right here. So we got from 2-5 through 2-11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 running backs in a 7-pick stretch. Josh Jacobs, Eckler, Gurley, Edwards-Helaire, Aaron Jones, James Conner. They're going fast.
Yeah, and that's certainly like the quote unquote optimal, the chalk construction, because you're going to see some of these wide receivers that go off the board in rounds 4 through 7. It's like insane. Like, oh my God, I got DK Metcalf in round 5. Oh my God, I got Adam Thielen in round 4. There's so many guys. I got Will Fuller in round 6 or round 7 or whatever. Like, it's going to look a lot better. Those teams are going to look a lot better on paper when you go RB to start. It doesn't mean that it's necessarily right, especially in this format where you're rewarded for going contrarian. Oh, wow. There's a little off the board. Kenny Golladay. Recently, we talked about him in the last podcast about moving him up. That's still, I think, a little bit early. Let's talk about some other wide receivers he could have taken. He passed on Godwin, passed on Amari, passed on DJ Moore, Adam Thielen, A-Rob.
Yeah, for the second straight year, we are way above consensus on Amari Cooper. I mean, like his ADP here is like wide receiver 13. We have him wide receiver 6. I don't know what people. I mean, he's the number one receiver in a top 5 passing offense. I don't know why it's difficult.
I think the people are scared by the volatility, right? So at the end of the year, his fantasy points per game look great and his final line looks great. He does throw up more duds than your typical second round wide receiver. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like just receivers in general, very few of them are truly consistent.
Yeah. I mean, I just know from, busting Peter's balls about it. Like when he throws them an air ball, it's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
All right, there goes Zach Ertz in this tight end premium.
Yeah, Ertz is definitely a guy that I've been warming to. Moved him up the rankings. He's going to be the alpha there in the Philly passing game again. I think Wentz can have his best year.
Yeah.
Ertz in a great situation.
I'm curious. There's like starting actually tomorrow and Tuesday when everybody starts reporting. And by the way, shout out to NFL and NFLPA for not letting money stand in the way of this season. If the season goes off the rails because of Corona, which I hope that it doesn't, at least it won't be about money, So shout out to them for figuring it out. So they're going to report on this week. And I hope to get information about guys like Alshon Jeffrey, guys like Jarvis Landry. I have a whole list somewhere of guys that I'm looking for injury information on. And certainly Alshon Jeffrey affects Zach Ertz at least a little bit. Right now, I'm expecting Alshon Jeffrey to start the year on PUP with that Liz Frank issue.
Mm-hmm. Godwin goes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, any running back we take here is going to be a reach. The running backs that we have next on our rankings, Chris Carson, Melvin Gordon, Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, Uncle Len, Jonathan Taylor. Like it's getting real thin, real fast. So we might have to go full blown zero RB here.
Let's fucking do it. The pushback in the community against zero RB, it's been so strong. And I mean,
people just don't understand it, but yeah,
people don't understand it. Well, I mean, most people don't even know what true zero RB is. I mean, they think it's like starting wide receiver.
What do you think if Mahomes gets to us here?
Yeah,
I mean, it's a 1 QB league, but we have Kelsey.
We're playing to win.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews goes, Uncle Len.
Fuck. Mahomes.
There goes Mahomes.
6.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah,
Andrews,
so we have
Andrews is kind of scary, I think. With he's got diabetes, I mean, just if he gets it, I mean, he's probably out for the year.
Yeah, I haven't looked at that, but yeah, I know he has that. Okay, so we can reach for Calvin Ridley here and just try to YOLO a Falcon stack, but above we have.
I think we could get him in the 4th. I think we could get him in the 4th at 404.
Well, Steelers rule is definitely taking a wide receiver. Big Sir, maybe
there's still
not.
some good ones available, though.
All right, we're on the clock. So our board is now Cooper, DJ Moore, Thielen, Calvin Ridley, Odell.
Oh, man. What do you want to do?
I mean, I think it's right to get Ridley and then one of
Let's get Ridley because then we're going to get another great receiver after that. And we're going to just balls out, go zero RB, which I'm fine with.
Yeah, this is going to be beautiful.
The Sheep Bowl are going to hate it.
Yeah. We just have to make sure we get Matt Ryan. Like we're going to have to go like a round or two early on Matt Ryan.
Fine.
Wow, this guy is going robust RB. Mixon, Chubb, Melvin Gordon. Yeah, I think Melvin Gordon can have a reasonable year. Like I don't think the gap between Melvin Gordon and Phillip Lindsay as a runner is that wide.
Right.
But Melvin Gordon is going to get the goal line work and going to get the pass down work. So he's just like, I think he's fine.
Yo, Amari here, Adam Thielen, or Odell Beckham, or Mike Evans. We're in a good spot. If we get one of those guys, I'll feel great.